Here comes the Clifford Nicgorski Show. Get your eyes and ears ready to go. Welcome to the Clifford Nicgorski Show. We're gonna have a damn good time. Welcome to the Clifford Nicgorski Show. Welcome to the hell of a time. Welcome to the Clifford Nicgorski Show. We're gonna have a hell of a time. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Clifford Nicgorski Show. In this episode, we're gonna go back into the vault, and we're gonna revisit one of the top played episodes. It is quite experimental. I went into the studio in Van Nuys and recorded all the music live. We used, I played on a flute. There's multiple brass, wind instruments, live drums, keyboard. I did it all with Andy Marshall. It was basically the Sleeping Ghost, which is a band, which is my band. And we went in there, and it's kind of experimental. It's an episode that is basically giving you the portrait of the worst man in the world. It's basically a collection of all the worst men in the world through the eyes of a child. You know, sometimes I'm laying there at night and these moments just pop into my head, things I've lived through. Sometimes me at my worst. You know, I'm 41 now. I was married. You know, it's just the worst man. And at the end of the episode, I talked to a therapist, and he listens to the episode and he gives his thoughts on it, and I kind of discuss some of the trauma of my childhood. You know, it upsets some people in my life that I made this episode, but it's not really about us as a family. It's more about us as a society. Since I've made the episode, which was maybe 5 years ago, the world has only gotten worse at communicating, and that's what I was touching on is, man, look at this communication. What are we trying to communicate with this behavior? So enjoy, sit back. This is gonna be mainly a listening episode. This will be the only video in it, so you can just lay back and enjoy the ride. All right, enjoy the worst man in the world. Right now, we're all trying to talk to each other, and it's really not going over that well. Okay, we're making horrible sounds at each other that have been passed down to us for years and years and years and years and years and generations, and they're not working. We suck at communicating. So, but we're gonna try the best we can. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you a little story, if you don't mind. That is, if you don't mind. If you mind, turn this off now if you don't want to hear a little story. Because if you ask me, a little story never did anyone no harm. Okay? Telling little lies that tell greater truths, and that's all this is. I got a little zinger, and I think it may be just a small percentage of a fraction of a very unlikely demographic that rarely participates in listening to little zingers or interesting stories in general would like, even if their favorite turtle were to beg them.
Please, just listen to the little zinger.
Well, I don't wanna. I didn't like that last one.
This one's gonna be so good.
That's what you said about the last one, and it wasn't any better than the one before. I'm done with little zingers. Don't you get it? God damn it. Now I'm screaming at my favorite turtle. That's what I'm doing. I'm screaming at my favorite turtle. I hate you for making me behave like this. Some little earthquake, jiggling around, jiggling beneath you.
Terry walks his ass into the living room of his good friend's newly remodeled condo and begins to criticize the craftsmanship of the general contractor, while his friend tries to act like it doesn't hurt his damn feelings, because he was very proud and very happy of the remodel. All his other friends thought this place looked great. Deep down, that's the real reason Terry was the last to see the place. Terry had no damn idea, and that's why it made perfect sense to show his ass last. So, here we go. Terry pulls up.
Who is it?
It's Detective Pit Pat, and I'm here to ask you about some recent internet activity. You know, grinding up dried up white pieces of dried up sun-scorned dog shit and sniffing it up your nose. A little something like that, drug daddy? Huh? You think that's making you some kind of a man in there? Some kind of a daddy? Some kind of a drug daddy? Well, it's making me sick. And I got news for you. That's not the only pastrami I got in my shorts, buster. I also know about the stash of dancer's ribbon you keep in the meat closet.
Oh God, he's gonna do it, isn't he?
You know, the one nobody ever told Pasquini about? Okay, Detective Pit Pat, you made your point. In fact, you made it so good, nothing matters. Well, I didn't want to see you get all goofy again. You can't be getting all goofy like that. You messed up all my rodeo stuff. My landlord just got me that bottled water filtration system. Come on, dude. I'm talking sexually aggressive to Siri right now, dude. I only care about myself, man. Give me what I need, or I'll throw a temper tantrum, and I'll break all your things, dude. I'll be ungrateful. I'll be ungrateful for any of your affection because expected of you. And I feel no desire to give any back unless it's to make me feel like I've done the best I can. And the brief moment of kindness I show you, you'll be grateful for. And that will fulfill me for a very long time. And you, a very short time.
Terry, is that you?
No, now it's me, your first dog. Remember when your dad pepper sprayed me?
Okay, Terry, you ready to come in yet?
No, I have a few more characters I want to do first. I'll call this one the little boy that hears too many adult conversations.
This next song goes out to Tear Girl from Baby Loco. He says, I miss you, babe. And as soon as you get out of there, you're my girl. I'm always your boo. It's by Magic Jordan, and it's called I Just Can't Get Close Enough to You, babe.
You know that Tina? That fucking Tina bitch? That cellulite cream ain't ever gonna save her fat ass. You hear me, kid? If a strange man ever jumps in this car, tuck your head between your legs, because I'm gonna drive us right into a wall or a pole. We won't be anyone's hostage, okay? If anyone is raping me, just run and save yourself. Get help, because every second counts. Honey, show them where the guns are in case there's a home invasion, and we're not here to protect them. I think I'll enroll them in a cowboy club and take them out to the desert to shoot old guns with a bunch of grown men in costumes. Yeah, and then I'll lose my temper. I'll lose my temper because there's something wrong with my General Custer costume. Who wouldn't get pissed about the General Custer costume? You know, what are the buttons, fella? I got the costume contest coming up this weekend. I need a new button. Grown men in costumes. Yeah, and then maybe I'll lose my temper over and over and over. Because there's something wrong with my General Custer costume. But maybe my family will never mess with me again if I scare the shit out of them enough. My youngest is a coward, you know. I found that out after he laughed at me for wearing little shorts at the pool one day. I punched his little arm over and over. He won't be messing with me anytime soon.
Terry, almost done.
Let me think. Did I already mention about the coward? My youngest son being the coward? The little shorts?
Yeah, Terry, the little shorts.
Good. Got it. You know women don't like me. No matter how hard I hit on them. I've even resorted to chivalry. You can't win! I've tried screaming, threats, smashing up the house, demoralization, not jokes. And I tried some as-ifs. I tried mean girling for a couple weeks. Nothing seems to work. I swear, I'm about ready to give up peacocking. You hear me? The next time a beautiful woman walks in the room, no peacocking for me. Let's see how they like that. Can you imagine a room full of gorgeous women minding their own business and none of the other men in the room are peacocking? You just got me. Peacocking? Why even leave the condo? And to be honest, I've seen better tits on cigarillas anyways. That's not true. I'm just sad my dad thought I sucked at saxophone.
You gonna come in, Terry?
My whole life I've had to entertain. Like all of us. The moment you're born, you've got all these large humans watching you. They want to see what you're gonna say. When you're gonna say your first words. To see if you can shit on your own. To see if you can make something of yourself. But then they stop giving a shit. Because you get old, and you're ugly, and your feet are repulsive, and your complaints aren't funny anymore. No wonder we gave up on living forever. And tell all our future ancestors to just watch the movie of a compiled social media post I left behind. Maybe then you'll learn something. I think mine will be really special. We're gonna have favorite profiles. Have you seen Person Bundiga? He's got the best profile. It's wild stuff, kiddo. What are your top 5 favorite vintage profiles? Are you getting all this, Jaquilio? God damn it! I'm getting a call on the cell phone. 1 minute. Ah, man. Jimmy's whorehouse. You got Jimmy on the horn. Wait. Hold on a damn minute. What do you mean you want the mug back? I already regifted it. He already drank from it. I saw him this morning. He used it. Okay, so a week ago I'm world's greatest stepdad, and now I'm last night's lasagna. I get it. I get it. Well, I don't have the mug. So, well, whatever. You can go to hell. You can go to hell with yourself, pal. Stay at my whorehouse. Hey, buddy. You in there?
Yeah, Terry.
I'm on my last beer out here. I want to get more before this one runs out. Don't bother opening the door. I think I'll just take a piss by the trash cans. Unless you get some beer in there. You got some beer in there?
I've got some Lagunitas.
I don't drink that crap. Well, nice place. By the way, the paint on this railing could use a little touch-up.
Terry?
Well, there you have it. There you have it, man. Terry's a fucking asshole. Why do we cater to assholes? I know a bass player that thinks that the government hired actors to pretend that their children were killed in a fake school shooting under a chemtrail-covered sky. It would make you cry with the sound of the soul pulsing through its beloved instrument, tapping into a shared experience that actually transcends all life. It can actually change your entire perception of reality and every decision you will ever make in the future. I know a guy, I know a drummer that is afraid of upsetting God and lies to everyone he loves. And he was inappropriate with an animal, that dog. That can teach you things about art that will make you understand how the entire world exists. By the way he plays the drums, there's more information coming through the rhythms he creates than you could ever learn 20 years studying at the university of your choice. I also knew a bass player from my childhood that shoots heroin into his neck for his 5-year-old daughter. And he understands art and music in a way that will make the other person very uncomfortable. He paints pictures of demons that he meets. And he tries not to reveal too much information to us. He knows he knows that we wouldn't understand. And we would only judge him. But if you listen close enough to the bass playing, stare at his wild pangs of insane demons long enough, you too can celebrate the freedom of dancing with the fucking devil. You yourself can be influenced by the untethered thoughts of a true artist with a scary entire family. Maybe by exposing them to the truth that they found accidentally. Here's my naked dick kind of shit. You know, hey Dad, check out my wild dick. I'm naked in front of you. What if there's still something crazy?
This is your captain speaking. Please prepare for some turbulence. We're about to land in approximately 37 to 39 minutes. Please put your chairs in their upright positions and be ready for some obnoxious talk. And you're gonna have yourself a good time as we land this plane.
For the podcast.
You get drunk at the park.
I like that.
I'm sitting here with my dear, dear friend, Sean Roth. And he just listened to that wild story that you guys just heard. So, we're going to talk about it. Not only is he a great friend that knows me inside and out, he knows me. This guy knows me. He knows how much I masturbate every day. He knows every detail. He knows when I get, on accident I get jizz in my pubic hair, and then I leave it in there, and then my girlfriend sees it and goes, "What's that?" And I go, "Oh no, I left jizz in my pubes, and it dried, so now I clearly, obviously masturbated last night, and it's obvious." I tell Sean about this stuff.
And we make pacts about reminding you to take a shower so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, we make great plans for the future, so those types of things don't have to happen. It's just unnecessary in today's modern life to have to deal with those kind of prehistoric issues.
Primitive.
Very primitive issues. Sean, how do we know each other? Can you talk to the audience for a minute?
Sure.
You take the phone.
Yeah, no problem. Here's your beer.
Tell them about it. Hold it up.
So I believe we were 18 years old, and we were both playing music at the time, and we ran into each other at a Subway.
On Sunset Boulevard.
On Sunset Boulevard. I was playing at the Whiskey, I believe, and you were playing at the Roxy.
Yeah, the Key Club.
The Key Club. And you were wearing brown Dickie shorts.
I was wearing brown Dickie shirts.
And I was blown away.
Yeah, and you had the Adam
Strung out tattoo.
Yeah, I was going, that's a strung out tattoo you've got.
So we bonded over brown Dickie shorts and strung out.
And you guys were looking kind of for a new singer.
We did, and I put you in a very uncomfortable position.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, that was good. This is how we found out that we were meant to be great friends.
You really loved me after this situation.
Yeah, somehow, even though most people would probably hate and never want to see Sean again after something like this,
I
loved
plans.
it even more. I went, that's the kind of madness I need to be involved with. They had a band, Government Cheese. You want to tell them?
Yeah, we were like a progressive punk metal band. We played everywhere. That's
similar to Strung Out.
Strung Out, Thrice.
Very good band. And you guys were revered.
I think people liked it.
Yeah.
We were technical. We really tried. We really cared what we were doing. But we were having problems with the singer of the band. I believe it may have been girlfriend issues.
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to get a new singer, so I had Cliff meet us at our band practicing space. But he didn't realize that was at the singer's house.
No, I didn't. I just showed up thinking, because I'd been to many band practices. And I was going, okay, cool. This is what you guys got your own place?
Yeah.
This is rad. I was all excited. And I remember I knocked on the door, and this little boy answered. This beautiful boy.
He's now a doctor.
Yeah, this guy's now imagine that. I'm the kind of guy rubbing elbows with future doctors. I had access to this kid when he was very young.
9, maybe?
Yeah, he was probably 9. And I had a great effect on him, and he became a doctor.
That's all.
No, but yeah, but I went there, and he opened the door, and he's like, "Hello?" I'm like, "Hey, I'm here, I want to do some band practice." And he's like, he's like, "Oh, are you the guy who's replacing my brother?" And I'm like, "What?" And right then, the current singer, walks behind him and is like, "Hey, dude, what's up? Come on in." And we went in the house and we watched Kids in the Hall. Everyone was late by like an hour. So I sat with this guy I've never met before to rehearse in his band at his house.
Take his position.
Yeah. And so I sat there and we watched shows and we got along famously. It was weird. We actually got along. He's an interesting guy for that. I guess we all were.
I guess we were all just a little...
Yeah, we were all really weird.
Chaotic,
Yeah. But we were like rolled with the punches. Do you think you've gained respect from me when I threw my shoes away?
Oh, yeah. That was definitely a turning point in the relationship. He came over to my house, and I lived with a woman who was on drugs and had a bunch of animals. And there was this shit everywhere. There was more shit in the house than there was outside the house.
Feces everywhere.
And he walked in and stepped on shit. And instead of cleaning the shit off his shoe, he just threw his shoes away. It was remarkable.
Rocked around with no shoes.
This place was so bad that when I brought girls over, I had them hold their breath before they walked into my room. Because my room was clean. It was just the rest of the house.
It's kind of hard to disguise cat shit and fish shit.
You know, I lived there with my cat for 1.5 years, and I never bought kitty litter.
Yeah.
That gives you an idea of the conditions of the house.
Right now, me and Sean are at a park. There's a fire in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
There's a place. We're at a park, and all the cholos gather and play here.
Start fires, play soccer.
Yeah, they play soccer and light fires in the corner. So, we just listened to this pile of hell. What'd you think? How did it come across? Is it... If you're an average listener, you're gonna hear this thing and be able to follow. I
heard it in its raw form, and I know you really well, so I get your humor, and I know a lot of the stories of your past and the things that have happened to you. So for me, I could put it into context, but it was clear, and it was bizarre, and it was really funny.
I think some of the magic is that the listener has to feel the way I felt. Confused and bombarded by information that you didn't need or expect or don't know what to do with.
And sometimes it makes a little bit of sense. You get a kernel, and then it goes away again.
Yeah, that's how it feels. I'm trying to get the listener to feel how I felt. And to try to capture that feeling of
being a young boy.
What is this? There's so much momentum behind the head of the train, you know? You see the first piece of the train, but there's just so much behind it, so much momentum. It's kind of hard to understand and absorb all the, everything that's behind that moment. But that's the thing is,
I like that.
When I was a kid, I didn't understand. I didn't understand my dad had a nightmarish childhood himself. He was scared.
I think it takes time to really understand that, have compassion.
Wow. For some reason, when you're a cop, you're very afraid of black people.
I wonder if there's any envy there.
But when you're hanging out in regular social circle, you have respect and a lot of appreciation. Like, he'd be playing Marvin Gaye and Al Green, he'd say things like, that's when black people, these are the black guys that we like. Come on.
He made a distinction.
Yeah. It's so weird. It was weird. It was such a violent difference.
I could see how confusing that could be.
Right? Why do you hate black people when you're a cop, but you like them at home?
Well, you're a normal guy.
Yeah. So for me, I always I was in denial because I was so close to it. This is what a cop is. My is a good guy. He loves black people. No, cops aren't like that. But no, now looking back at it at this age, I realize
When he was in that role, he was racist.
Yeah, like the fucking Stanford prison experiment.
Oh yeah, that definitely could shift you and change you. Also, the experiments with Stanley Milgram, where they had people do.
Which ones were those?
It's when a person in authority told a subject to administer a shock, and then they would continue increase the shock to points where it could be lethal. But because a person in authority told them to do it, they did it instead of saying no. So you could be really influenced by people who are above you. If you're in a working environment where there's authority figures and you have to enforce certain laws, and you start doing things that you normally wouldn't do, like in the Holocaust, for example, and the SS soldiers. They say a lot of it was because they were being told to do those things. It's kind of a way to explain human behavior.
And it's so weird because you want to, in a way, that's human nature, so it is excusable, in a way. But then it's like we also want to raise the bar and raise the standard.
Yeah,
You have to kind of be accepting of people who have failed in the past, but also have the goal of raising the bar to where that's not an excuse. I don't know. All the stuff that's going on really it's an interesting challenge. Because I have to re-examine, oh man, my was really harsh at times.
Yeah. My wasn't a police officer, but he was an English professor. And I had the same experience where when he was...
Military training.
He was in the military, in Vietnam, in fact. He was really traumatized. But when he was in school and teaching, he was a completely different type of person. It was almost the opposite of what your was. In his private life, he was a barbarian. But in his professional life, he was this decent, well-spoken, eloquent, thoughtful person. But when he got home, he just regressed into this, the buffoon. Sorry, I love you.
Yeah, part of it is when you listen to that story, the thing you guys just heard, I have Civil War sounds going and all these things when the character Terry starts really getting into his past and starts talking about stuff, because it's kind of like you're fighting your father's battles. There's all these old wars that you're still fighting for some reason, and it's and it affects you now. So there's all these Civil War sounds going on in the background, and the second time that Terry gets really agitated, all of a sudden I start adding in laser sounds and space war sounds, because it's man, not only is he fighting this battle, he's fighting a battle that no one even knows about. This guy's
otherworldly.
Got this whole world going on that no one was even a part of, that didn't even happen, and there's lasers shooting off now, and he's getting even more wild. And so, yeah, I don't know, it's an interesting thing with police, because I always came to my defense. And then I look at it now and I go, the guy was a bully to me.
Yeah, it sounds like he was.
He was a bully. And he was a jerk. He got mean, and if he didn't get his way, he got violent and angry and mad, and he was gonna get his way. And that's the thing with the police that suck, is that they just know that they have to get their way by the end of this whole thing. By the end of the situation that you're engaged in, they have to be in control. You have to completely submit.
That sounds like what it was like in your household.
Yeah, he wanted the family to submit.
He wanted all his needs met.
Yeah, by the end of the whole thing, you were gonna submit, or life wasn't gonna go on.
Tantrums.
Yeah, temper tantrums.
Arm punching.
Yeah. That guy, I'm sitting out in the pool. He comes out in these little teeny blue shorts. And I started laughing, because it's the fucking dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
And you're punished for having experience.
Yeah, I'm laughing. He comes out, and when I was a kid, it was the biggest deal in the universe if my got in the pool with us, because he was never home. So if he came out and swam, it was like, woo, came out and he's swimming. So I was thrilled that he came out. But he had these stupid little teeny dolphin shorts on, these little bitty blue shorts with white piping on them, and yeah, he had a little teeny pocket with a button, and he came out, and I thought it was so funny. I laughed, and yeah, I remember I lied too, because he got all mad. He's like, "Oh, you know, fuck you," and then walked off.
Fucking shit.
Yeah,
he really felt humiliated.
Yeah. He felt humiliated. He got on the diving board like he was about to get in, and I was like giggling. I mean, I was honestly giggling. He looked like a fucking idiot. Little teeny legs kicking. Oh, fuck you.
Red skin.
Fuck your little head of hair and your mustache and your little shorts. Your toes flicking. You don't even have a toe anymore.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. You little son of a bitch. So, anyways, this guy, he's looking like an asshole, and I start laughing. And then he comes, got furious and stormed off and went inside the house. And I remember sitting out there like, oh no.
Yeah, you must have been scared, like you fucked up.
Yeah, I was like just sitting there like, what do I do?
Oh man.
So I go, I'm gonna go inside and I'm gonna apologize.
Because you gotta make it right, the kid, the little child.
Yeah, I was 11.
You're a little boy.
The Blue album had just come out.
God,
from
it was a good
Weezer.
album.
Oh, I was listening to it by the pool.
Oh man.
Yeah, and so I went inside the house into the kitchen and I said, hey, I just want to let you know, I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing about something else. Like, and I lied. I said I was laughing at something else. And he was opening up this bag of frozen movie theater soft pretzels. And
he was gonna eat his feelings.
He was gonna go in there and eat some pretzels and feel better because his piece of shit son, who's 10, just ruined his life apparently. So he goes and he get these pretzels, and I go, hey, I just want to tell you, I'm sorry, I was laughing at something else. I didn't mean like if you took it the wrong way. And he said, fuck you. And took the pretzel bag and started smashing the whole kitchen and broke. There was glass cabinets. There was glass cabinets, so you could see inside each drawer of the pantry. And he smashed all the glass out with the frozen pretzels. And then I stood out of the kitchen and I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, I wasn't laughing at you. I'm sorry. And so he comes over to me and he just starts slugging my arm.
Hard.
Like full blast slugging it. So he's punching my arm and punching it. And I'm sitting there, I start crying, and then he said, look at him, he's a coward.
What a piece of shit.
And he's like, look at him cry, you're a little bitch. And so I ran into my bedroom, and my mom and my followed my because my followed me and kept berating me. And my jumped out and screamed, and he's always been embarrassed, probably why he's a heroin addict now. He screamed, and he had his voice was changing, so it squeaked, and he was like, leave him alone.
And you really killed him, right?
Yeah,
of course.
And then made fun of him. And then told me, look, and he's pointed at me as I was on the bed crying. I look at him, he's a coward, that little fucking coward. You fucking think you can laugh at me, you little fucking coward?
Holy shit.
And so he's screaming and screaming at me. And then he left the house and didn't come back till later that night, around 1 in the morning. And I stayed awake all night.
That's traumatic,
And
man.
I looked out the window and there was coyotes running around. And my was standing there and watched the coyotes run by him, and they stopped. And I watched my and the coyotes stand there and kind of look at each other for a minute. My stood in front of the house and just looked at it, and then he got in the car and left again at 1 in the morning. And I found out the next day that he called and asked her for money, and so he was all happy the next day.
Did he apologize to you?
No.
Have you ever talked to him about
Yeah, and he never did apologize.
that? What a monster.
Yeah,
man.
when I was 17, I told him, I'll never forgive you for that. You hurt me so bad.
That's
and
like-
fucked me up. And he goes, oh, sorry for being a horrible and like, yeah, just,
minimizing your experience.
yeah.
That must have been scarring, man.
Yeah.
That's really awful.
Yeah, it was a wild time. But during that whole time, my dad would do crazy shit like that. And the funny thing is, he had a Batman costume. He was dressed as Batman half the time. Because he had Batman smashing the house up. my had a business, a roofing business. He ran out of the house. So my was like a secretary at like 13, 14 years old. And the phone rang in his bedroom, the office phone, so he could answer it from his room. And my thought that he was getting a phone call from like a friend or something. And the phone was ringing, but it was the business phone. And someone was calling about work stuff. And my went into my bedroom and smashed all of his CDs, threw his CD player across the room, broke his drafting table, ripped his art up, and left it like that, and then went to sleep.
Now we know why you're a heroin addict.
Yeah. I'm filling myself with hatred right now.
I can sense it, man.
What's wrong with me, Sean?
You're angry.
Can you work me through this?
You're angry, yeah.
What makes me say such horrible things?
You're really hurt, man, and I would be too.
I feel like
those stories are really traumatic.
I feel like I'm very angry right now. I'm saying mean things
You are.
that I normally wouldn't feel comfortable saying.
I know.
What do you think? Should I apologize?
He hasn't apologized.
Am I better than him?
You are.
If you're listening to this, I'm sorry about making fun of your toe. I'm sorry about making fun of your mustache. Please leave the gays alone. They are better than you, and they don't want to date you. Please leave the women alone, too. If you want to be sexual, can you just keep it to Siri?
Yeah.
Can you just keep it to machinery so a real human doesn't ever have to experience your thoughts or emotion or feelings? Because I think you're better off yelling at the news and then just kind of trying to be casually polite to the humans around you.
That might be a stretch.
So be sexual with robots, get angry with the television, and be polite to the humans around you.
What I'm getting from this is that your had a trauma with his own father involving a saxophone. And because of that, he became a demon and then caused trauma on your family that's so disproportionate to what he experienced.
His dad, yeah, his dad always said, like, he doesn't have it.
Maybe that's the source of it all.
Yeah.
He didn't have it, and he knew it.
He's listening to my podcast like he's in competition or something.
Because you have it. He knows you have it.
Well, yeah, that's undeniable.
Yeah, it's the truth. It's
Yeah.
the fact of reality. Just as much as we're sitting here.
I've tried to
doing
lose
this-
it.
You can't lose it.
No,
It's there.
yeah, it's stuck. Hey, I'm sorry if I said anything mean.
Yeah, it passed you, but it passed on to your son, so that's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to just let it go.
Me too.
Sean, should we let it go?
Do you feel like you can?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't want to involve myself in their sordid affairs.
What if your was
Like
here right
Dr.
now?
Manhattan.
What if your was here right now? And you had conversation. What would you want him to do? What would you want him to say?
You know what's so weird? Weird is everything I'd want him to say would be so unrealistic.
Like
I would be asking for something that,
he's not capable of.
yeah.
Like, hey, I'm really sorry.
Hey, can you float? Can you float, 50 feet into the sky?
Do you think?
And fly over to New York right now? Like, I'm asking him something he can't.
It's outside of scope
Yeah.
of possibilities.
Yeah, there's nothing. I've tried to talk to him, but it's funny because he does this thing where he just can't hear. His ears stop working. It's just like, I'm like, hey, like, you know, it's a slap in the face to have to clean this whole house up.
He's a type
Then my destroyed in a wild rage. I can't clean this house up. It'd be horrible for me to do it. And he goes, so if you can just run the vacuum over and do the dishes, and I'm like, did you not just hear that I said it would be a slap in the face to clean all this?
And I wonder where you learned that behavior of destroying things around him.
Yeah, well, it's hard because I see that, and she's 5, and she's like, gets mad and will stomp on flowers and like look back like, you see what I just did? I just fucked that up. Like,
so beautiful.
I ruined it. Like, I've been victim to that myself. You know, I'm better than them, but I have stooped to that level.
You have those tendencies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very destructive, man. I'm
What
sorry
do you think?
You had to go through that.
Should I feel bad for what I have said about my dad?
I don't think you should feel bad about it. I think that's how you feel, and you're definitely justified in feeling that way. It's some people will never even speak to their parents after an event like that, when given the right age where they could stop speaking to them. You know, the fact that you even have a relationship with them and were thoughtful about how he felt when you lived with him. You know, you were so like considerate is pretty remarkable. I remember my natural feeling is to feel really bad about everything I just said about my because I was saying such mean things. You know, it also made you feel bad for laughing.
Yeah.
You felt like you had to feel guilty and shame for giggling. Of course you feel bad about saying mean things to him.
Yeah. I just said mean things on my podcast about my and I feel so bad now.
We can always not put it out.
No, I have to put this out because it's what happened.
I respect that too.
It's what happened. I got upset and I said horrible things.
Maybe he needs to hear it.
Maybe I need to hear it.
Maybe you need to hear it.
Maybe if anybody... See, I'm not even worried about people listening to this. That's not even an issue right now.
No.
Who gives a... No one's listening.
This is for us.
Yeah. So, I'm going to put this on. I just kind of want to say something. I feel really bad about what I just said about my dad. But, you know what? Sometimes you say things that aren't right. And I got to let that be. It's okay to say the wrong thing sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's an exercise. I can't go around editing.
No. It's also okay to have conflicting feelings. Like, on some part he cares about the guy, but the other party really despises him. Yeah.
I'm really mad. I wish I never had to see him again. If there was a button I could push and I would never feel guilty and I never had to see any of those people again, I would push the button right now.
You know, you're lucky you don't feel guilty enough not to feel mad. Some people feel so guilty that they don't even allow themselves to feel angry with their parents. The fact that you can at least get yourself to that point where you can all be honest with what you feel is a lot. You should be proud of yourself in that regard. It sucks that the ensuing feeling afterwards is guilt and shame and you feel bad about it, but man, you really had a lot of trauma. I love you. You're beautiful. And if the trauma is what caused you to be who you are, I'm happy it happened in some strange way.
What do I do from here? What do I do from here, Sean?
I think we got to continue the conversation, honestly. Now we opened it up. I think we have to continue it until you don't feel the way you feel anymore.
Okay. Well, this was a beautiful talk. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Cliff. I love you. I really appreciate you sharing these things and feeling comfortable doing so with me.
Can you wrap it up? Can you do the concluding comments?
Yeah, I can. I think it's important for people in their lives to realize the things that happen to them as children are sometimes very difficult and very hard, but it's important to be honest about it. And the more that you're honest about it and you feel what you feel, the sooner you can get through it. And I think that's what we're seeing right now with Cliff. He's being really honest about what his experience was, and he's in the emotion. And I have faith that the pain that he's in and the anger that he has will be healed in time through this type of artistic process that you're engaged in. So don't be afraid. Feel what you feel. It's normal to be mad at your parents. How could you not be? You're with them for fucking at least 18 years of your life. Do you know anyone for 18 years that you haven't been mad at? Think about that. Of course you're fucking mad. So, good luck and keep on going. I like this music.
Keep on going, baby. You gotta keep on going, baby. Tell your daddy that he's a piece of shit. Piece of shit. Piece of shit. Piece of shit. Piece of shit.
Well, we're about to land this pile of shit. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. We made it safely to hell. Things are no better here than they were wherever you came from, but we made it here. Enjoy your journey. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
And that's how it's done, baby. Here on the Clifford Nicgorski Show. Enjoy whatever time period you're about to experience next.